What do you think is the future of the entertainment industry right now?
If I knew, Tom, I'd probably be much less anxious. If I had to take a guess, everything's going streaming. Broadcast television.
Of course, yeah.
Broadcast television, its time is numbered. Right now, we put a lot of faith and our commercial dollars into these big network stations. They are gone. The moment that streaming services start going, all right, stream all your stuff here, click on the shows you want to watch, but we've got a live feed to this live event. And when you get to that menu and there's a big timer, hey, coming up live on Netflix is this live concert. Broadcast network television is gone. And when it happens, it will happen so fast that Richard Wilkins won't be able to comb his hair. Koshy will not be able to change his suit. It will be fast. It will be quick. And then this whole new generation of TikTokers and kids.
Well, that's another thing I was going to ask you as well, is that there's so many people, there's a kind of democratization going on now where, I mean, you're one of these people that, if you don't mind me saying, sort of monetizes your Instagram.
Not very well, though.
Maybe not well, but a lot of people do that and do it quite well. And so you're kind of removing a middleman between, what used to be an agent or a manager for talent as well. And you're filing everybody into the gig economy based on some sort of a currency or metric, whether it be their likes or their reach or whatever it is, to which they can, leverage to get more work. Where does that leave the people who are in the middle, the managers, the publicists,
Gone. So brands can contact people directly. They can get them to do a ad for quite cheap and see what kind of numbers, what kind of data. Like, I'm working with a company right now, and their whole company isn't production. It's analyzing YouTube videos and seeing which YouTube videos have the most reach, which ones hit the audience, where the audience pulls out, what intros work the best. And they've come up with the science behind what is working.
Sure, it's a new world of data now.
It's a new world of data. And I think it is really sad. Working with this company right now, they analyze these videos, they say what's popular, they say what's working. And one of the great dangers of this is that we're giving everyone exactly what they want. I don't think that is necessarily a good thing. When I was doing long form, I'd start telling this story and people be like, all right, where's he going with this? And they had to stick around to get to some sort of conclusion, to be rewarded with something. Vanilla Sky, the film with Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz and Penelope Cruz, makes no sense for the whole film until the very end. If you try to show someone on TikTok Vanilla Sky, a TikToker, they'll be like, next. Vanilla Sky is one of my favorite films.
Yeah.
And I think that when you give people the little crunched down videos, which are these big old dopamine hits, I think it actually trains them up to only consume content like that. And I'm terrified that the future of content, the future of television, is all of these bite-sized 30-second videos of yippity-yap. And
you sound like an old man.
I do. I do feel I sound like an old man. But there's always going to be room for bigger stories. But I think that...
Yeah, I think there is room for long-form content. I was having this conversation with someone else recently, but there are podcasts now that people listen to for really long periods, longer than they would have listened to the radio, like Talkback and things like that.
Sure.
And there's also different opportunities, conversations that go when somebody commutes and things like that. They have time where they'll listen to something that's long form. But I think it's just the amount of content that is now around that people have to become discretionary. They have to discriminate between, I'll give something 5 seconds, and if it's not any good, I've got a million other things that I could watch or could be watching. Whereas, 20 years ago, we had 3 or 4 channels on television. You sit down. If nothing's on 7, you switch to 9. If nothing's on 9, you switch to 10. And if that's not very good, you have to choose your poison, right? That's it. So people have got too much option.
We're drowning in a sea of mediocrity.
Yeah, well, that could be downstream of having too much option, I guess.
Yeah. But I feel like right now you've got, when you're watching 1,000 things, when you're listening to 1,000 podcasts and you're watching 7 different TV shows at once, you're not really watching anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when
you try and multitask, you're not really doing anything. Yeah.
When you're present and you're in one thing, you know, you're watching the one show and like, you know, it's like you're watching that. But it's like, I think even though people watch TV these days, like, you know, they've got their phones out, they've got their iPads out, and they're like browsing Instagram.
Yeah, while they're watching TV.
Yeah. It's like, geez, it's like,
it's like the sitting and watching of the TV is just an homage to yesteryear. It's like we all used to sit here and do this. Here's a tip of the hat to that, you know, while I check my Instagram.
Yeah.
If you'd like to watch the full interview, there'll be a link, obviously. You won't have to work too hard for it. It's also available in podcast forms for those with better things to do than watch our stupid heads.